it's clear women's Big Bash and the lack of a women's IPL, right? It would help. It would surely help because the women's Big Bash has clearly got a lead and they've got daylight now between India's effort with women's cricket and what Australia's done.
Yeah. I mean, just look at it. We took the lead in 2008 with the IPL, in creating franchise-based leagues. And my point is that you don't, when we're talking about, okay, let's mix the teams and make them up, it doesn't work that way. Why do you think private franchises work very well? Because when I'm the Mumbai Indians, I'm a private franchise, I have something invested in it. I'll go and find players like Hardik Pandya. I'll go and find Jasprit Bumrah. They will find the female equivalents. If I am in charge of a women's IPL team, I'll go and find the best players in the country. Private enterprise always beats a bunch of selectors getting together and say, okay, this is the 25, 30 odd players we're going to choose. It's always going to be better if I have a chance to go and choose what players I have. I'm more invested in it. So all those are points. And I remember the first year when they did it, they had a situation where they were playing in Mumbai. There was a game just after that. And remember, in India, tickets are given for a game once. So you get a ticket, you go in there, okay, you go into, I think it was the DY part or the Wankhede. You can't leave the Wankhede till the next game is over. Or you leave, you can't come back in.
Yeah.
So basically you're saying that if you want to watch the women's finals, you will be sitting in that same stadium for 9 hours. Okay. Yeah. I can tell you about the number of women's toilets in stadiums in India. I'm not even going to begin to start talking about, the kind of problems they face. So that's my problem. Look, I think it's the richest board in the world can do a little bit more for women's sport in this country. And given the fact that both Australia, WBBL is far ahead of us, the Kia Women's League in the UK is also far ahead of us. And right now, our players are going and playing there. And if these two countries get ahead of us, if we don't have our own league, there's going to be much bigger distance than even there is today.
So obviously that leads to the question that, right now, of course, a lot of the stars haven't come because, the WBBL is on in Australia as well, right? So obviously they're not. The question, of course, is there enough quality talent to have and to populate a high quality of cricket? So you have enough quantity and quality to ensure more teams, 4 teams, 6 teams, perhaps 8 teams, domestic.
It's so funny. Lisa and me were just talking about it. So I'm going to take Lisa up on this as well very soon. But absolutely. I mean, my point is you don't need to start with 8 teams. You can start with 6. You can start, maybe 4 is a little less because the season gets over pretty fast. It's really then a tournament. It's not really a league. But 6 and I think we can work. I mean, Lisa, what do you think?
Yeah, I think 6 is certainly a good number. And the other thing is either you can have it already with the franchises, but we've already seen other franchises involved in the IPL, like the Gujarat Lions, so the rising Pune Supergiants. You can potentially use them again and take the game to maybe smaller venues. Indoor is another one where if you get a 20-25,000 capacity stadium, that's great for women's cricket. And you're sharing again the game across the country of India. These are the opportunities that I'd love for the organisers just to think a little bit more. It's going to take someone who wants to think a little bit outside the square, because you cannot package up women's cricket in the same clothes, in the same marketing plan, as the same as the men. You've got to think just a little bit left field. And the potential is there. I know every other country is scared of when India get it right, they are going to dominate world cricket for a long time.
Yeah, it's a valid point you say about the other centers, so to speak, the non-metros. We've seen Baroda, we've seen Jaipur, packed stadiums in Jaipur as well. Joy, I think what has happened is that there's these booster shots that you get in terms of fandom. The 2017 final being one, the semi-final as well. I think that was Harman's big score there, the destruction. Then, of course, the 2020 T20 final, World Cup final. And you get these booster shots, but then you got to convert it. That's the springboard. You've got the fans in, they're interested. And then they look around and go, oh, that's it. It's nothing more to eat. That's it, we're done. Like, there's people who'll watch the previous matches. They'll watch the final today. You'll get good quality cricket. These are 2 good quality teams. And then the captain, Harman herself, for the toss is saying, we don't know when we're going to play next. And really, I watched that, and that's just like, it crushes my heart as a fan, but as a business person, I go, oh God, that's a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, so I'll start with 2 things. Quickly, I want to tell you, Chris Gayle started playing around the same time, his test career, as Mithali Raj, 1999. Okay. While now 2014 he stopped playing Test cricket, and in the middle also he missed. You know how many Test matches he played? He played 103 Test matches. Yeah. Mithali Raj has played from 1999 to now 2020. You know how many Test matches she's played? She's played every year. She's always picked. She's played 10 Test matches. That is the truth. Okay, so that's how critically underdone women's cricket is. And look, I'm telling you, there's an opportunity here. Why do I say there's an opportunity? Not because I'm being this thing. It's good to be woke now. Go and see an ad. You will see an ad. There's a girl who's bought a car for her, take her parents on a ride. So that kind of movement is happening in India. Yes. It's cool. Now they're talking about girls who taking their fathers for a ride, buying a car for their family, doing stuff. There are so many women's brands in this country which are multi-million dollar brands, huge brands, and across categories, from white goods categories to all these are very, very women's brands. So there's money. There's money. There's a reason. There's a need to be woke, which is not such a bad thing, because at some point you need that pointer to needle to point to the fact that we need to compensate for the fact. So there is money. There is a need. If you put it well to the private sector, there are enough to tell me 6 teams can't be picked up. I can promise you, sitting here today, easily you will get bids for 6 franchises from really good places. So, what it needs is somebody to say, I have nothing else. My job is to look after women's cricket.
Yeah, marketing genius. Look at Professor Joy Bhattacharjya, just laying it out.
Give him the gig.
Give him the gig. You're right. Commissioner Joy. Commissioner Joy is what we're going to have.